I'd describe myself as a hopeful skeptic when it comes to the topic of Bigfoot and Sasquatch. When I heard about Bigfoot Fest happening and discovered that it was not too far from me, I figured I should go. So I drove across Washington state to Metaline Falls in the northwestern corner of the state. Here in this small town, I met a variety of Bigfoot experts, believers, and generally interesting people. This was their first annual Bigfoot Festival, and my experience there.
All right, so I'm Matt Hines. I'm doing a Squatchumentary, but normally I do a podcast called Encounters USA, and we investigate the mysteries of UFOs, aliens, Bigfoot, and Dogman. We notice that there's a lot of similarities with UFO encounters and Bigfoot encounters. Bigfoot seems to be able to appear and disappear. From what we understand about science now, the only way that can be possible is to tap into zero point or ambient energy. The more stuff that we put out, the more the mainstream, like the Travel Channel and the History Channel, you'll see that they're going towards this quantum Bigfoot.
My name is Marshall White. I'm an artist and a filmmaker, and I live in Metaline Falls. And I'm here today for the Metaline Falls Bigfoot Festival, and it's going to be an awesome event. Last year I went out and I filmed Bigfoot researchers. I went with Extreme Expeditions Northwest. I was asked to do some filming for them. And over the course of a year, we filmed and edited Sullivan Creek Sasquatch. They did find evidence of Bigfoot, and that is shown in the film. And it even shows, some of the researchers themselves are not hardcore, I believe Bigfoot exists. Some of them are like, I'm out here to find out for myself if he really does. I mean, I think he does, but getting the proof that it's Bigfoot is the real key.
Come on! Push! Pick it up! Let's go! Hang on. Breathe. We're almost there. Push it! Come on! Push it! Move it! Come on! Don't make me chase you down! Don't make me chase you down! I was a fitness instructor until I retired. Come on, you guys! You got this! We're really excited. We're hoping to be bigger next year, but yeah, we're really excited. Come check out Metaline Falls, Washington. We rock!
Third place male finisher with a time of 24 minutes and 56 seconds is John Mathis. John Mathis, come up and get your medal.
You want to know what they are? They're another us. That's all they are. Their DNA is so similar, it's unreal.
Have you had any personal encounters?
Very much so.
Could you tell me about one?
I've had this fellow behind me has held my hand in his. And that's all a disbeliever has to have is one time. And for he who does not want to believe, no amount of evidence is possible. Okay. For he who understands, no evidence is needed.
What do you think about Sasquatch?
I don't really have an opinion. I mean, I'm ambivalent about Sasquatch.
Believe. Never count anything out. Just believe, and that's it.
Yeah, who's ever in the costume today is going to pay for it.
Oh, you know it, yeah.
You ever seen Sasquatch?
Yes, twice.
Twice?
Wow. Yep. One right outside of Newport, to be exact.
Oh, wow.
My daughter saw it first. It was right towards dark, and she was out playing with a bunch of her friends, and she said, Dad, there's a bear out here. And I go, oh, crap. So I warned her out, there ain't no bear. The bear was about this big and went straight up a freaking ridge in about, 3 steps, and gone, and just gone. I hunt a lot, yeah, there's something, always when I go hunting, it's like, is that a cougar watching me, or why is something watching?
Yeah. Well, I hope this morning. If they do find it, it doesn't come out to be like that other show they got hunting Bigfoot.
Right.
With those guys with the guns and everything else.
You know some of them.
Because that's what they're always trying to say is, you got to get
give
one.
them a body.
Yeah. I hope that, if they do find one, I hope it doesn't come to that.
Now, if you shoot one of these things, you got to eat it, right?
That's what we do.
That's 800 pounds you got to drag out of the woods.
Yeah.
You got to eat it.
You had to half him up or something, man.
It's only quarters, yeah.
If you don't have photos,
Like this big snap or an S, you're just wind, and anybody can give you a windy story. He's about 15 feet tall.
That's Bigfoot?
No, that's an alien. That's Snowball. Yeah, I named him Snowball because I seen him. He waved at me, and he's fast. If you think the Flash is fast, that guy got him beat. Here he is right here. You can see him. Use your imagination a little bit. And then I caught this UFO or spaceship, whatever the doggone thing is.
But I'm a lapidary, so I carved all my turquoise and a bunch of the other rocks on these tables.
Are you a fan of Bigfoot?
I am. Well, I know a lot of people that have seen Bigfoot up in this county for sure. I thought it was cool they were doing it here. I'm like, yeah, that's the part of Washington and across Canada, across the 20 by Canada, but mostly here.
Do you have any good stories from other people that you want to share?
No, unfortunately. Have fun, enjoy rocks.
Oh no, I've seen them. I know they exist.
You've seen them?
9 in my life.
Can you tell me about your favorite story or your favorite encounter?
3 years ago. We were camped way up above Sullivan Lake, up in the wilderness. They surrounded our campsite at night, 3 of them. 2 tree branches and rocks at us. My dogs went nuts. Couldn't figure out what it was. That was cougars at first. Went and turned the headlights onto my truck, and there was 3 of them standing between 2 big trees. Next morning we went out. My son is 7'2", and his head didn't even touch the branch the shoulder of the Bigfoot were at. We measured it at 8'3" where the shoulder hit on that tree. Followed the footprints around. They circled our camp. You can see where they watched us from 3 different angles. Didn't bother us any. I don't think they're dangerous unless you're packing guns. If you are, then they know. So they're intelligent. If you don't want to be seen in the woods up here, you're not going to be seen. I'm an old fat man, and I can go hide out there, and people walk by me. We have a small town. There's only 120 some people live here. I remember in the days when 5,000 lived here. We had lots of stuff going on, so it's pretty quiet. A lot of new people. People are buying houses up here out of California, and it's kind of scary. We don't want any more libtards up here, but whatever happens, happens. I preach nonviolence. There's other ways to do things. You know, I'm educated. I've been to college. I got 2 master's degrees. So there's other ways to deal with issues. There's always a way if people can communicate, and some people just don't want to communicate. COVID came out of China, they say, but it actually came out of University of Michigan originally. 10 years ago, a reporter wrote a book about it, and they actually called it COVID-19 and described exactly what was going to happen last year, almost to the perfect T. What was going to happen? Everything he predicted 10 years ago happened.
Eventually, they're gonna find absolute evidence that they exist. Absolute evidence. It's just a matter of time.
I would think that evidence would have been found throughout history, because these things have been supposedly seen throughout history, but nobody's ever came up with anything to, actually prove that that's what it is.
I am here from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I am representing Night Callers Bigfoot Radio, which is my podcast. Been on air for over 10 years, done hundreds of interviews with Bigfoot researchers and Bigfoot witnesses.
How did you get your start?
My mom was a Bigfoot researcher. She had a sighting, and so she would take me out in the field with her when I was, about 9 years old. And so I researched all the way from that age all the way up to where I am now, and now I take my own children out. Skeptics, I just want them to come and see all the casts and listen to the experiences and see that, we put a lot of effort into the scientific side of this, and these are things that have happened to people that have changed their lives. Don't make fun of people and don't call people crazy. Like, this is a real phenomenon that is happening. So just, treat them with respect, and if you have questions, ask, and we will answer them for sure.
My name is Jaco Raphael Finlay. Well, I'm a teacher, but I'm a rendezvouser. I go to them things, and I barter, and I trade, and I hunt, and I fish, and I do all that kind of stuff. Hey, 12:15 here at the stage. Well, Metaline Falls is a neat place, but I'm from Ione. Okay? And I moved to Ione from Montana, then I was in Canada, then I was in Ione. And you know why? One reason why. marijuana. Years 18, 8 or 9, David Thompson is coming from the east, and he has to come over Athabasca Pass to get to here. And when he comes over Athabasca Pass in the middle of the winter, what does he see right in front of him and his men, right there in the snow? 18, say, track. 18 long, 10 wide. Whoa! His men thought, oh, it was a big grizzly bear. Well, it wasn't no grizzly bear. Sasquatch. They call them then monsters. It's written in David Thompson's journal. There ain't no doubt about it. So since then, no one's seen one. But they're out there somewhere.
It was an interesting experience, to say the least, but I'm really glad that I went. I met a lot of very interesting people, I met a lot of interesting ideas, and I met a lot more sincerity than I expected to. Stay tuned for future reports.
Beavers.